Green thumb. My secret: the hidden gardening tricks that really work. Welcome to the world of gardening. There is little that compares to the feeling of digging your hands into the soil, sowing seeds and watching tiny seedlings grow into magnificent plants. Gardening is not just an activity, it is a passionate connection with nature, a way to relax, be creative and enjoy the beauty of life. There is so much to explore in this fascinating world of gardening. Whether you are an experienced gardener or just starting to develop your green thumb, there is something new for everyone to learn and experience. From choosing the right plants for your garden, to caring for them and protecting them from pests, to harvesting and processing your own fruits and vegetables, the possibilities are endless. But gardening is not just a solo activity. It is a community in which experiences, tips and tricks are shared. Here you can exchange ideas with like-minded people, learn from others and pass on your knowledge. Because gardening together is even more fun and leads to even greater success. So enter the world of gardening and let yourself be enchanted by its beauty and diversity. We warmly welcome you and look forward to accompanying you on your own gardening journey. Have fun gardening. The basics of gardening. The basics of gardening are crucial to the success of any gardener, whether a beginner or a seasoned professional. In this chapter, we will cover the fundamental aspects of gardening that will help you build a solid foundation for your gardening adventure. Choosing the right location. We'll start with the location of your garden. Choosing a suitable location is crucial for the growth and health of your plants. Consider factors such as sunlight, soil conditions, wind conditions and possible protection from harsh weather conditions. Soil preparation and soil quality. Soil is the foundation for healthy plant growth. Learn how to properly prepare and improve your soil by adding organic materials like compost, mulch and fertilizer. Also, test the soil quality to make sure it has the right texture and pH for your plants. Selection of tools and equipment. A gardener is only as good as his tools. Discover the basic tools you need for gardening. From shovels and spades to pruners and watering equipment. Learn how to properly care for and store your tools to extend their life. Principles of plant selection. Choosing the right plants for your garden is crucial to the success of your project. Consider factors such as climate, soil type, sunlight and the needs of the plants. Find out which plants get along well with each other and how you can plan a harmonious garden design. By understanding and applying these basic gardening principles, you will lay the foundation for a healthy and thriving garden. Stay curious, experiment, and be willing to learn from your experiences. Gardening is a constant journey of discovery, and with a solid foundation, you can successfully achieve your green dreams. Choosing the right location. Choosing the right location for your garden is crucial to the growth and health of your plants. Here are some important considerations to keep in mind when choosing a location. Sunlight. Most plants need at least 6 hours of direct sunlight per day to thrive. Observe your garden throughout the day and identify areas that receive adequate sunlight. Soil texture. Examine the soil in your garden to determine its texture. Is the soil sandy, loamy, or clayey? Soil texture affects drainage, water retention, and the availability of nutrients to your plants. Water access. Make sure your garden is close to a water source. Whether it's a garden hose, rain barrel, or irrigation system, an adequate water supply is crucial for the growth of your plants, especially during dry periods. Protection from strong winds. Strong winds can damage your plants and spoil the gardening experience. So consider possible wind directions and make sure your garden is protected from strong winds by natural or artificial barriers. Climatic conditions. Research the climatic conditions in your area, including average temperatures, frost dates, and rainfall patterns. Choose plants that are well adapted to your local climate for best results. Accessibility. Make sure your garden is easily accessible for you to maintain and harvest regularly. Consider factors such as proximity to your home, availability of tools, and convenience of access. By considering these factors when choosing a location, you will lay the foundation for a successful and productive garden. Take the time to plan your garden carefully and find the optimal location that will provide your plants with the best growing conditions. Soil preparation and soil quality. Soil preparation and soil quality are critical to the growth and health of your plants. Here are some important steps and considerations for soil preparation and improvement. Conduct a soil test. Before you start preparing your soil, it is advisable to conduct a soil test. A soil test can provide you with important information about the pH, nutrient content and soil composition. Based on this, you can determine what nutrients your soil needs and how you can improve it. Remove weeds. Remove all existing weeds and grasses from the garden area you plan to plant. Weeds can compete for the nutrients and water your plants need, and their roots can interfere with plant growth. Loosen the soil. Loosen the soil with a digging fork or tiller to improve soil structure and increase permeability for air, water and roots. Loose soil promotes better drainage and makes it easier for plants to root. Add organic materials. Add organic materials such as compost, rotted manure, leaf mulch or peat-free soil to your soil to improve soil structure and increase nutrient supply. Organic materials also help promote soil life and increase soil fertility over time. Adjust soil pH. Depending on the result of your soil test, you can adjust the pH of your soil to create optimal growing conditions for your plants. This can be done by adding calcareous materials to raise the pH or acidic materials to lower the pH. Mulching. Mulch the soil with a layer of organic mulch such as straw, wood chips or leaves to retain moisture in the soil, suppress weed growth and regulate soil temperature. Mulch also helps incorporate organic matter into the soil and improve soil structure. By following these steps for soil preparation and improvement, you will create optimal growing conditions for your selection of tools and equipment. Choosing the right tools and equipment is crucial for efficient and successful gardening. Here are some basic tools and equipment you may need for your gardening. Hand tools. Hand shovel and hand spade. For transplanting, digging and planting small plants. Hand hoe or cultivator. For loosening the soil and removing weeds. Garden shears. For cutting twigs, stems and small branches. Hand cutter. For precise trimming of plants and shrubs. Large tools. Spade. For digging holes for larger plants or for turning over beds. Garden shovel. For moving soil, compost or mulch. Rake. For spreading mulch, smoothing beds and removing leaves. Irrigation equipment. Garden hose with spray nozzle or watering can. For watering plants. Drip irrigation system. For efficient and targeted irrigation of beds and planters. Rain barrel or rainwater barrel. For collecting rainwater for irrigation. Protective and care equipment. Gloves. To protect your hands from dirt, punctures and scratches. Sun hat or sun hat. to protect against sunburn and overheating. Knee pads or garden bench, for comfortable working in the garden and to protect your knees. Other useful equipment. Composter, for producing compost from organic waste. Planters and containers, for growing plants on balconies, terraces or small areas. Gardening gloves, to protect your hands from dirt, thorns and insect bites. Garden cart or wheelbarrow, for transporting soil, plants, tools and other materials in the garden. To make your gardening efficient and enjoyable, make sure you use quality tools and equipment that are well maintained. Invest in good quality tools that are durable and reliable, and maintain them regularly to extend their lifespan. Principles of plant selection. The principles of plant selection are crucial to the success of your garden. Here are some important considerations and tips to keep in mind when choosing plants for your garden. Climate and location. Choose plants that are adapted to your local climate and the location of your garden. Consider factors such as sun exposure, wind exposure, soil conditions and risk of frost to select plants that can thrive in your garden. Water needs. Pay attention to the water needs of the plants you choose and make sure they are compatible with the watering conditions in your garden. Choose drought-tolerant plants for sunny, dry areas and moisture-loving plants for shady or moist locations. Growing conditions. Consider the growing conditions in your garden, including soil texture, pH, drainage, and available space. Choose plants that are compatible with those conditions and have the best chance of growing successfully. Plant compatibility. Make sure that the plants you choose harmonize well with each other and do not interfere with each other. For example, avoid planting aggressive or invasive plant species that can overgrow other plants. Purpose and use. Consider the purpose and use of your garden when choosing plants. Decide whether you want to grow vegetables, herbs, flowers, shrubs or trees and choose plants accordingly that suit your needs and preferences. Diversity and variety. Aim for diversity and variety in your garden by choosing a mix of different plant species, colors, textures and heights. This creates an appealing and dynamic garden ambience and promotes biodiversity. By keeping these principles of plant selection in mind, you can create a garden that is not only beautiful to look at, but also healthy and productive. Take the time to choose and plan your plants carefully, and enjoy the variety and beauty your garden will offer. Spring. The beginning of the gardening year. Spring marks the beginning of a new gardening year, a time full of hope, renewal and plenty of opportunities to make your garden flourish. In this chapter, we will look at the most important spring activities and tasks to help your garden start the new year successfully. Planning and designing the garden. Use the quiet time of winter to plan and design your garden. Think about what plants you want to grow, where to place them and how to make the most of your garden. Start of sowing. Vegetables, herbs and flowers. Spring is the ideal time to start sowing vegetables, herbs and flowers. Choose hardy varieties that are adapted to your climate and location and plant them in pots or directly in the bed. Spring cleaning and preparation of the beds. Take time to weed your beds. Remove old plant debris and loosen the soil. If necessary, add organic materials such as compost or rotted manure to increase soil fertility. Spring pruning and care of perennials. Cut back hardy perennials and remove dead or damaged shoots. This promotes healthy growth in spring and ensures that your beds and borders look neat. Spring is a time of opportunity and new beginnings in the garden. Use this time to plan, Sow and prepare your garden and look forward to a bountiful harvest and abundant blooms in the months to come. Planning and designing the garden. Planning and designing your garden is the first step to a successful gardening year. Here are some important considerations and tips to help you plan and design your garden to its full potential. Site analysis. Examine your garden carefully, considering factors such as sun exposure, soil type, water access, and climatic conditions. Make notes about the different areas of your garden and their individual characteristics. Establishing goals and needs. Think about what goals you want to achieve with your garden and what needs you have. Do you want to grow vegetables? Create a flowering garden? Create habitat for birds and insects? Or just have a place to relax and enjoy? Plant selection. Choose plants that are well adapted to your climate and location and that meet your personal preferences, taking into account the growing conditions, care requirements and aesthetic qualities of the plants. Designing the layout. Sketch out a rough layout of your garden and think about how you can connect the different areas and elements together, taking into account the placement of beds, paths, seating, water features and other design elements. Consider seasonal timing. When planning your garden, think about the different seasons and how your garden will change throughout the year. Choose plants that bloom or bear fruit at different times to ensure continuous visual and culinary delight. Sustainability and ecological aspects. Consider your garden as part of a larger ecosystem and strive for sustainable practices and environmentally friendly design options. Consider the use of natural materials, promotion of biodiversity and economical use of water and resources. By considering these tips when planning and designing your garden, you will lay the foundation for a beautiful, functional and sustainable garden that meets your needs and preferences. Start of sowing vegetables, herbs, and flowers. Starting to sow vegetables, herbs and flowers in spring is an exciting moment for every gardener. Here are some important steps and tips to start sowing successfully. Choosing seeds. Choose high-quality seeds that are fresh and from trusted sources. Be sure to select varieties that are well adapted to your climate and location, and consider your personal preferences and requirements. When to sow. Check the recommended sowing time for each plant species and variety based on your local climate and last frost dates. Some plants can be sown directly outdoors, while others are better started indoors and then transplanted outdoors later. Preparing the seed containers. Use clean and sterilized seed containers, such as small pots, seed trays or seed pots. Fill the containers with a suitable seed compost or a special seed compost that is light, fine-grained and has good drainage properties. Sowing technique. Follow the instructions on the seed packet for the correct sowing technique and depth for each plant species. Press the seeds lightly into the soil. Cover with a thin layer of soil and water gently to encourage moisture. Care of seedlings. Place the seedling containers in a warm and sunny location and keep the soil evenly moist but not too wet. Make sure the seedlings receive enough light to encourage healthy growth and feed them occasionally with a weak fertilizer once they develop the first true leaves. Hardening the seedlings. Before transplanting the seedlings outdoors, harden them slowly to the outdoor conditions, such as sun, wind and temperature, by gradually acclimating them to the outdoor conditions. This will help to minimize transplant shock and promote plant growth. By following these tips and carefully sowing vegetables, herbs and flowers, You will lay the foundation for a successful gardening season with abundant yields and lush blooms. Spring cleaning and preparation of the beds. Spring cleaning and bed preparation is an important step in getting your garden ready for the new growing season. Here are some essential tasks and tips to consider. Remove weeds and old plant debris. Start by removing all weeds and old plant debris from your beds. Weeds can take nutrients and water away from your plants and encourage the spread of disease, while old plant debris can attract pests. So remove these thoroughly to keep your garden clean and healthy. Soil loosening and preparation. Loosen the soil in your beds with a digging fork or tiller to improve soil structure and increase permeability to air, water and roots. If necessary, add organic materials such as compost, rotted manure or peat-free soil to increase soil fertility and improve nutrient supply. Check soil quality. Take the opportunity to check the quality of your soil by conducting a soil test. A soil test can give you important information about the pH, nutrient levels and soil composition and help you make the right adjustments to create optimal growing conditions for your plants. Adjusting soil pH. Based on the results of your soil test, you can adjust the pH of your soil to create optimal growing conditions for your plants. This can be done by adding calcareous materials to raise the pH or acidic materials to lower the pH. Mulching the beds. Finally, you can mulch your beds with a layer of organic mulch such as straw, wood chips or leaves to retain moisture in the soil, suppress weed growth and regulate soil temperature. Mulch also helps incorporate organic matter into the soil and improve soil structure. By carrying out these tasks carefully and thoroughly, you will prepare your beds optimally for the coming growing season and lay the foundation for healthy and fertile garden soil. Spring pruning and care of perennials. Spring pruning and perennial care are important steps to prepare your plants for healthy and lush growth. Here are some essential steps and tips for spring pruning and caring for your perennials. Remove dead or damaged shoots. It is important to remove dead or damaged shoots from your perennials, especially in spring. Cut them back to healthy tissue to make room for create new growth and prevent the spread of disease. Pruning hardy perennials. Many hardy perennials can be pruned in spring to prepare them for a new year of growth. Cut stems back to about 5-10 cm above the ground to encourage new growth. Dividing and thinning. Some perennials can be divided or thinned in spring to improve their health and flowering ability. Divide the plants carefully with a spade or knife and remove excess roots and shoots before planting in a new location. Fertilizing and mulching. After pruning, you can fertilize your perennials to provide them with the necessary nutrients. Use a balanced, organic fertilizer and spread it evenly around the plants. You can then mulch the beds with a layer of organic mulch such as straw, wood chips or leaves to retain moisture and suppress weed growth. Watering. Make sure to water your perennials regularly, especially during dry periods in spring. Deep watering is important to encourage root development and make the plants more drought resistant. Observation and control of pests and diseases. Keep a regular eye on your perennials for pests and diseases, such as aphids, snails or fungal infections. If necessary, take appropriate control measures, such as biological pest control or manual removal. By following these steps carefully and caring for your perennials in the spring, you will encourage healthy growth and abundant blooms in the coming gardening year. Summer, the flowering time of the garden. Summer is a time of abundance and beauty in the garden, when plants are in full bloom and nature shines in all its glory. In this chapter we will look at the highlights and challenges of summertime in the garden. Blooms and colors. Enjoy the lush blooms of your garden plants when they are in full bloom and offer a variety of colors and scents. Summer is the time when many perennials, flowers and shrubs show their most beautiful blooms and transform your garden into a true floral paradise. Care and watering. Make sure your plants are well watered, especially during dry and hot periods, especially in summer. Water your plants deeply and thoroughly to reach the roots and mulch the beds to retain moisture and reduce weed growth. Protect from heat and drought. Protect sensitive plants from excessive heat and drought by covering them with shade netting, providing supplemental watering, and regularly checking for signs of stress such as wilted leaves or burns. Harvest time for vegetables and fruits. Use the summer to harvest and enjoy your ripe vegetables and fruits. Fresh tomatoes, berries, zucchini, salads and herbs from your own garden are a real treat and reward you for your efforts in caring for and maintaining them. Lawn and ornamental plant care. Mow your lawn regularly and keep it at an appropriate height to encourage healthy growth and suppress weeds. Also care for your ornamental plants by regularly removing spent flowers, pruning excess growth, and fertilizing as needed. Enjoy your garden. Summer is a time to fully enjoy your garden and spend moments of peace, relaxation and joy outdoors. Create comfortable seating areas in the garden. Invite friends and family to garden parties and be inspired by the beauty and diversity of your garden. Summer is a magical time in the garden that fills you with its blossoms, abundance and joy of life. Use this time to enjoy, care for and love your garden and let yourself be enchanted by its beauty. Irrigation and water management. Irrigation and water management play a crucial role in summer to ensure your plants receive sufficient moisture and remain healthy. Here are some important tips and measures for effective irrigation and sustainable water management in the garden. Determine watering needs. Check the soil moisture level regularly to determine when your plants need watering. Use a moisture meter or check the soil moisture manually by doing a hand test. Deep and consistent watering. Water your plants deeply and consistently to ensure that water reaches the roots. Avoid superficial watering as this can prevent roots from developing properly and make plants more susceptible to drought stress. Choose the time to water. Ideally, water your plants in the early morning or late evening to minimize water loss through evaporation and ensure that the water is effectively absorbed by the roots. Avoid watering during the hottest part of the day to avoid burning the leaves. Mulching the beds. Mulch your beds with a layer of organic mulch such as straw, wood chips or leaves to retain moisture in the soil, reduce evaporation and suppress weed growth. Mulch also helps protect the soil from temperature fluctuations and improve soil structure. Use efficient irrigation systems. Use efficient irrigation systems such as drip irrigation, sprinkler systems or water channels to use water in a targeted and economical way. These systems can help reduce water consumption while ensuring consistent irrigation. Rainwater harvesting. Use rainwater as a free and sustainable water source for your garden by installing rain barrels or rainwater tanks. Collect rainwater from gutters or other surfaces and use it to water your plants when needed. By implementing these irrigation and water management measures, you can ensure that your plants are adequately watered and your garden remains healthy and thriving, even during the hot summer months. Weed control and pest prevention. Weed control and pest prevention are essential aspects of garden care to promote the growth of your plants and maintain a healthy environment. Here are some important tips and measures for weed control and pest prevention in the garden. Regular weeding. Remove weeds from your beds and borders regularly before they have a chance to spread. Use hand tools such as a hand hoe, weed puller or kneeler to carefully remove weeds without damaging surrounding plants. Mulching the beds. Mulch your beds with a layer of organic mulch such as straw, wood chips or leaves to suppress weed growth. Mulch helps keep the soil moist, regulate soil temperature and prevent weed seeds from germinating. Avoid open ground areas. Reduce open ground areas in your garden by planting densely, covering the ground or creating beds and borders. The less open ground there is, the less space weeds have to spread and grow. Early detection of pests and diseases. Monitor your plants regularly for signs of pest infestation or diseases, such as yellow leaves, holes in the foliage or damage. The earlier you detect problems, the easier it is to take appropriate measures to control them. Biological pest control. Use natural enemies such as beneficial insects, predatory insects or birds to control pests in your garden. Plant flower-rich plants and create habitats for beneficial insects to promote their population and reduce pest infestations. Use protective netting and barriers. Protect your plants from pests and birds by using protective netting, garden fleece or other physical barriers. These can help protect your plants from feeding damage and disease transmission without requiring the use of chemicals. By implementing these weed control and pest prevention measures, you can create a healthy and productive environment in your garden. Harvest time. Tips for a successful harvest. Harvest time is one of the most rewarding times in the gardening year, when you can harvest and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Here are some key tips for a successful harvest. Timely harvest. Harvest your plants at the right time, when they have reached their optimal maturity. Overripe fruit can lose flavor and texture, while unripe fruit cannot develop its full potential. Regular checking. Regularly check your plants for ripe fruits and vegetables and harvest them as soon as they are ready. This will not only prevent losses due to overripening or rotting, but will also encourage continued growth and production. Gentle harvesting. Harvest your fruits and vegetables carefully to avoid damage and promote shelf life. Use sharp knives or pruners to trim the plants and handle them carefully so as not to crush or damage them. Proper storage. Store your harvested fruits and vegetables properly to maintain their freshness and quality. Some crops require cool, dry storage conditions, while others should be kept in the refrigerator. Avoid storing different types of fruits and vegetables together, as they can accelerate each other's deterioration. Preserving and processing. If you harvest large quantities of fruits and vegetables that you cannot use immediately, you can preserve or process them to extend their shelf life. Canning, freezing, pickling or drying are popular methods for preserving the harvest and enjoying it for a longer period of time. Sharing and giving. Share your bountiful harvest with family, friends and neighbors and spread the joy of gardening. Give away surplus fruits and vegetables or organize swaps to share and exchange different produce with other gardeners. By following these tips and handling your harvest carefully, you can fully enjoy the fruits of your labor and experience a bountiful harvest season in the garden. Care of lawns and trees in summer. Caring for lawns and shrubs in summer is important to maintain their health and beauty and to prepare them optimally for the challenges of the warm season. Here are some essential tips for caring for lawns and shrubs in summer. Lawn care. Regular mowing. Mow your lawn regularly, but not too short, to encourage healthy growth and suppress weeds. Make sure your mowing method and height meet the individual needs of your lawn type. Watering. Water your lawn deeply and less frequently to encourage deep rooting and make it more resistant to drought. Preferably water early in the morning to minimize evaporation and reduce water loss. Fertilization. Fertilize your lawn as needed with a balanced fertilizer to ensure nutrients are supplied and promote healthy growth. Be sure to use fertilizers according to the directions on the package to avoid over-fertilizing. Weed control. Check your lawn regularly for weed growth and take appropriate measures to control it. Tree care. Watering. Keep your woody plants well watered, especially during dry and hot periods in summer. Deep watering is important to reach the roots and encourage healthy growth, especially in young or newly planted woody plants. Mulching. Mulch the tree rings and beds around your woody plants to retain moisture in the soil, suppress weed growth and regulate soil temperature. Use organic mulching materials such as wood chips, bark mulch or leaves. Pruning. Check your trees regularly for excessive growth, damaged branches or signs of disease and prune as needed. Be sure to use the correct pruning technique to maintain the health and appearance of your trees. Fertilization. Fertilize your woody plants in spring or early summer with a balanced fertilizer to support their nutrient supply and promote healthy growth. Be sure to distribute the fertilizer evenly around the base of the plants and not apply it directly to the trunks. By following these tips for caring for lawns and shrubs in summer, you can ensure that your plants remain healthy and vital and beautify your garden all year round. Autumn. The harvest and preparation for winter. Autumn marks a time of harvest and preparation for the cold winter months. In this chapter we would like to focus on the following important aspects. Harvest chores. Enjoy the fruits of your labor and harvest the remaining fruits, vegetables and herbs from your garden. Gather ripe fruits. Harvest the last of the vegetables and harvest herbs to use fresh or preserve for later use. Soil care. Use the fall to maintain and prepare your soil. Remove weeds and old plant debris. Loosen the soil, and add organic materials such as compost or rotted manure if necessary to increase soil fertility. Planting fall and winter crops. Plant appropriate fall and winter crops such as cabbage, spinach, beets, carrots and radishes to keep your garden in good condition during the cold months. Choose varieties that are adapted to the local climate and thrive in cooler temperatures. Protection from frost. Protect sensitive plants from frost damage by covering them in good time or wrapping them with frost protection fleece. Make sure your plants are adequately protected from cold temperatures to ensure their survival and health. Preparing woody plants and shrubs. Check your woody plants and shrubs for excessive growth, damaged branches or signs of disease and prune if necessary. Also remove dead or diseased branches to improve the health and appearance of your plants. Inspect garden tools and equipment. Inspect your garden tools and equipment for wear or damage and perform maintenance as needed. Clean your tools thoroughly and store them in a dry and sheltered place to protect them from the elements. Fall is a time of transition in the garden when you can harvest the crops, prepare the soil, and prepare for the winter months ahead. By taking these steps, you can keep your garden healthy and vital, setting it up for a successful season next year. Harvesting strategies and storage of vegetables and fruits. Harvesting strategies and storage of vegetables and fruits play a crucial role in maintaining the freshness and quality of your harvest over a longer period of time. Here are some important tips and strategies for successful harvesting and storage. Harvesting strategies. Timely harvest. Harvest your vegetables and fruits at the right time, when they have reached their optimal ripeness. Overripe fruits can lose flavor and texture, while unripe fruits cannot develop their full potential. Harvest carefully. Harvest your produce carefully to avoid damage and promote shelf life. Use sharp knives or pruners to cut the plants and handle them gently so as not to crush or damage them. Regular harvesting. Check your plants regularly for ripe fruits and vegetables and harvest them as soon as they are ready. This will not only prevent losses due to overripeness or rot, but will also encourage continued growth and production. Harvesting for storage. Harvest your vegetables and fruits for storage when they are fully ripe but not yet showing signs of overripeness. This will ensure that they can optimally preserve their flavor, texture and nutrients. Storage of vegetables and fruit. Proper storage conditions. Store your vegetables and fruits in a cool, dry and well-ventilated place to maintain freshness and quality. Avoid humid or warm environments as they can increase the risk of mold and rot. Separate storage. Store different types of vegetables and fruits separately from each other as they may have different temperature and humidity requirements. Some may also be sensitive to ethylene produced by each other, which can accelerate ripening. Regular inspection. Regularly check your stored products for signs of spoilage or damage and remove any damaged or rotting specimens to prevent the spread. Optimal conditions for specific types. Learn about the optimal storage conditions for different types of vegetables and fruits and adjust your storage practices accordingly. Some can be kept in the refrigerator, while others should be stored at room temperature. Preservation methods. If you harvest large quantities of vegetables and fruits that you cannot consume immediately, you can use various preservation methods such as canning, freezing, pickling or drying to extend their shelf life and preserve them for later consumption. By following these harvesting strategies and storage tips, you can maximize the freshness and quality of your harvest and enjoy it for a longer period of time. Overwintering of plants and protection from frost. Overwintering plants and protecting them from frost is crucial in autumn and winter to protect your plants from the cold temperatures and ensure their survival. Here are some important tips and measures for successful overwintering. Preparation in autumn. Choosing hardy plants. Choose hardy plant species and varieties for your garden that are adapted to the local climate and can tolerate frost. Watering and fertilizing. Make sure your plants are adequately watered and fertilized before the onset of frost to keep them well nutrient supplied and promote their survival. Mulching. Mulch the beds around your plants with a layer of organic mulching materials such as straw, leaves or wood chips to protect the soil from temperature fluctuations and to retain moisture. Covering sensitive plants. Cover sensitive plants and young trees with frost protection fleece, straw mats or blankets to protect them from frost damage. Make sure to fasten the covers securely so that they are not blown away by the wind. Measures during the winter. Regular inspection. Check your plants regularly for signs of frost damage, such as wilted leaves, brown stems or frozen shoots, and take appropriate measures to treat or remove damaged parts. Protection from extreme cold. During extreme cold snaps, additional measures may be necessary to protect your plants. Use frost protection fleece, heating cables or frost protection sprayers to protect sensitive plants and provide them with additional warmth. Limit watering. Reduce watering your plants during the winter as they will need less water and the soil will dry out more slowly. However, be careful not to let the roots dry out, especially on sunny and windy days. Snow and ice protection. Remove snow and ice from your plants as needed to prevent damage from the weight. Gently shake snow from branches and twigs and remove ice buildup to reduce stress. Spring preparation. Remove frost protection measures. Remove frost protection covers and mulching materials in the spring once the danger of frost has passed and temperatures rise. Pruning and thinning. Check your plants for damage and prune any damaged or dead branches to encourage healthy growth and improve the appearance of your plants. By following these tips for overwintering plants and protecting them from frost, you can keep your garden plants healthy and vital and bring them successfully through the cold winter months. Autumn cleanup and composting. Fall cleanup and composting are important steps to prepare your garden for winter and use organic waste effectively. Here are some tips for fall cleanup and composting. Autumn cleanup. Remove dead plant debris. Remove dead plant debris, weeds and leaves from your beds and borders to reduce the risk of pest and disease infestation and to make room for new plants in the spring. Pruning of woody plants. Prune overhanging branches and damaged twigs from your woody plants to maintain their shape and reduce the risk of breakage during winter storms. Lawn care. Mow your lawn one last time in the fall and remove fallen leaves and other organic materials to reduce the risk of fungal diseases and promote healthy lawn development in the spring. Mulching the beds. Mulch your beds with a layer of organic mulching materials such as leaves, straw or compost to protect the soil from temperature fluctuations, retain moisture and suppress weed growth. Composting. Collecting garden waste. Collect organic garden waste such as dead plant matter, weeds, vegetable scraps and leaves to use in composting. Compost pile construction. Create a compost pile or use a compost bin to compost your organic waste. Alternate layers of green and brown materials to promote good aeration and mixing. Humidity and aeration. Keep your compost pile moist but not too wet and turn it regularly to ensure good aeration and speed up the decomposition process. Waiting for decomposition. Wait patiently for your organic materials to completely decompose and turn into a dark, crumbly compost. This may take several months, depending on conditions and materials. How to use your compost. Use your finished compost as a nutrient-rich soil conditioner for your beds and borders in spring. Mix it into the soil or use it as a mulch layer to encourage soil life and support the growth of your plants. By doing fall cleanup and composting organic waste, you can effectively maintain your garden, improve soil, and use resources sustainably. Planting autumn flower bulbs and winter hardy plants. Planting fall flowering bulbs and hardy plants is a great way to add color and interest to your garden while ensuring your garden remains attractive throughout the fall and winter. Here are some tips for planting fall flowering bulbs and hardy plants. Planting autumn flower bulbs. Choosing the right bulbs. Choose quality bulbs from healthy, hardy varieties that are well adapted to your climate and soil conditions. Popular fall flowering bulbs include tulips, daffodils, crocuses, hyacinths and snowdrops. Soil preparation. Loosen the soil in the planting areas and remove weeds, stones and other debris. If necessary, improve soil structure by incorporating organic materials such as compost or well-rotted manure. When to plant. Plant your fall flowering bulbs in late fall, before the ground freezes. This allows the bulbs to establish themselves and form roots before winter sets in. Planting depth and spacing. Plant your bulbs at a depth about 2 to 3 times the height of the bulb itself. Be sure to leave adequate space between bulbs to encourage healthy growth and avoid overcrowding. Post-planting care. Water your newly planted bulbs thoroughly to help them establish themselves, and mulch the planting areas to retain moisture and suppress weed growth. Planting hardy plants. Choosing hardy plants. Choose hardy plant species and varieties that are well adapted to your climate and soil conditions. Popular hardy plants include perennials, shrubs, grasses and evergreens. When to plant. Plant hardy plants in the fall before the ground freezes. This gives them plenty of time to establish themselves and grow roots before winter. Planting hole preparation. Dig a planting hole large enough to accommodate the root ball of the plant and loosen the soil at the bottom of the hole. Remove weeds and stones from the planting hole. Planting technique. Carefully remove the plant from its container and place it in the prepared planting hole. Fill the hole with soil and lightly tamp the soil around the plant to eliminate air pockets. Post-planting care. Water your newly planted hardy plants thoroughly to help them become established and mulch the planting areas to retain moisture and suppress weed growth. Provide additional watering during dry periods as needed. By following these tips for planting fall flowering bulbs and hardy plants, you can keep your garden attractive and vibrant even during the colder months of the year. Winter, the garden's resting time. Winter brings a resting period for the garden, where nature retreats and prepares for the upcoming revival in spring. Here are some important aspects and activities during the winter months in the garden. Maintaining the dormant period. Accept the natural cycle of the garden and allow it to rest in peace. Reduce activities in the garden to a minimum and avoid excessive disturbance of the soil or plants. Protection from frost and cold. Protect sensitive plants from frost and cold by covering them with frost protection fleece, straw or blankets. Avoid entering the garden during frosty periods to prevent frost damage to plants. Reduce watering. Reduce watering your plants during the winter as they will need less water and the soil will dry out more slowly. However, be careful not to let the roots dry out, especially on sunny and windy days. Observation and planning. Use the quiet time in the garden to observe your plants and the structure of your garden and make plans for the coming gardening season. Think about new plant combinations, garden structures or design projects. Caring for birds and wildlife. Place birdhouses, bird baths and feeders in the garden to provide food and shelter for birds and other wildlife during the cold winter months. Watch the different types of birds that visit your garden and enjoy the natural diversity. Inspect garden tools and equipment. Inspect your garden tools and equipment for wear or damage and perform maintenance as needed. Clean your tools thoroughly and store them in a dry and sheltered place to protect them from the elements. Winter provides an opportunity to rest and prepare for the coming gardening season. By leaving the garden alone and tending to its needs, you can ensure that it remains healthy and vital, ready to spring back to life in the spring. Winter care and preparation for the next year. Winter care and preparation for next year are crucial steps to keep your garden healthy and prepare for a successful gardening season. Here are some important tips for winter care and preparation. Protection from frost and cold. Check your plants regularly for frost damage and protect sensitive plants with frost protection fleece, straw or blankets. Pay particular attention to newly planted or young plants, which are more susceptible to frost damage. Reduce watering. Reduce watering your plants during the winter as they will need less water and the soil will dry out more slowly. However, be careful not to let the roots dry out, especially on sunny and windy days. Mulching and soil protection. Mulch the beds around your plants with a layer of organic mulching materials such as leaves, straw or compost to protect the soil from temperature fluctuations, retain moisture and suppress weed growth. Care of trees and shrubs. Check your trees and shrubs for damage or disease and remove dead or damaged branches. If necessary, carry out light pruning to maintain shape and encourage growth. Planning for next year. Use the quiet time in winter to make plans for the coming gardening season. Think about new plant combinations, garden structures or landscaping projects. Order seeds or plants early to ensure you get the varieties you want. Maintenance of garden tools and equipment. Inspect your garden tools and equipment for wear or damage and perform maintenance as needed. Clean your tools thoroughly and store them in a dry and sheltered place to protect them from the elements. Continue composting. Continue your composting and add organic waste such as leaves, vegetable scraps and clippings. Turn the compost regularly to encourage even decomposition and produce high-quality compost for the upcoming gardening season. By following these tips for winter care and preparation for next year, you can ensure that your garden remains healthy and vital and you will be rewarded with a thriving and productive garden in the spring. Planning for the coming gardening year. Sowing, cultivation, and design. Planning for the coming gardening year is crucial to ensure a successful and fulfilling gardening season. Here are some key steps for planning your sowing, growing and design. Choosing plants and seeds. Think carefully about which plants you want to grow in the coming year, taking into account your personal preferences, the space available in the garden and the climatic conditions in your area. Order seeds or plants early to ensure you get the varieties you want. Create a growing plan. Create a growing plan for your garden that specifies which plants should be planted where in the garden. Consider the light, soil and moisture requirements of each plant, as well as possible crop rotations and mixed crops to improve the soil and control pests. Determine when to sow. Determine the optimal time to sow your plants based on the local climate and the specific needs of each plant. Also refer to the recommended sowing dates on the seed packets or in the growing instructions. Plan garden structure. Think about how you want to design your garden in the coming year. Consider aspects such as bed layout, path layout, garden structures. For example, raised beds, trellises, pergolas, and decorative elements. For example, garden art, rock gardens, water features. Consideration of crop rotations and mixed cropping. Plan your crop areas to support crop rotations and mixed cropping. By rotating plant families and combining different plant species, you can keep soil healthy, reduce pests, and produce a diverse harvest. Garden care and maintenance. Consider what care and maintenance work will be required in the coming year, such as watering, fertilizing, weeding, pest control and harvesting. Plan time and resources accordingly to keep your garden healthy and vital. Budget planning. Create a budget for your garden that takes into account the cost of seeds, plants, garden tools, soil amendments and other expenses. Also plan for unforeseen expenses to avoid financial surprises. By planning and preparing carefully, you can ensure that your garden will be healthy, productive and beautiful in the coming year. Use the winter months to make your plans and prepare for a successful gardening season. Winter vegetables and winter bloomers. Winter vegetables and winter bloomers can liven up your garden even during the cold season, providing you with a bountiful harvest as well as color and interest. Here are some popular winter vegetables and winter bloomers. Winter vegetables. Kale. Kale is a hardy winter vegetable that thrives in cool temperatures. It is rich in nutrients and can be harvested all winter long. Brussels sprouts. A delicious winter vegetable that becomes even sweeter after the first frost. Brussels sprouts are well suited for fall and winter harvests and can be enjoyed fresh or cooked. Winter salads. Various types of lettuce such as lamb's lettuce, rocket and winter purslane thrive in cooler temperatures and can be harvested all winter long, providing a fresh and healthy addition to your winter meals. Parsnips. Parsnips are hardy root vegetables that thrive in cold weather. They have a sweet and nutty flavor and are great in soups, stews and casseroles. Beets. Beets such as beetroot, turnip greens and swedes are also hardy vegetables that are good for fall and winter harvesting. They are versatile and can be enjoyed raw or cooked. Winter bloomers. Winter jasmine. Winter jasmine is a robust and hardy plant that produces bright yellow flowers in winter. It is ideal for planting against walls, fences or pergolas and provides color in the winter garden. Snowdrops. Snowdrops are popular early bloomers, flowering in late winter or early spring. They are hardy and winter hardy and often form large carpets of white flowers that liven up the garden. Witch hazel. Hamamelis. Witch hazel is a winter flowering shrub that produces bright yellow, orange or red flowers in winter. It exudes a pleasant fragrance and is a valuable addition to any winter garden. Christmas roses. Christmas roses are hardy perennials that bloom in late winter or early spring. They come in a variety of colors and are well suited for planting in beds, borders or rock gardens. Winter camellia. The winter camellia is an evergreen plant with beautiful flowers that appear in winter and early spring. It prefers a sheltered location and can be grown both in the garden and in containers. By selecting winter vegetables and winter flowering plants, you can keep your garden active even during the cold season and enjoy both a bountiful harvest and color and interest. Recipes from light garden vegetables. Fried zucchini slices with garlic and parmesan. Ingredients: 2 medium-sized zucchini, 2 garlic cloves, finely chopped, olive oil, salt and pepper to taste, freshly grated Parmesan cheese, fresh parsley or basil for garnish. Directions: cut the zucchini into thin slices. Heat a pan over medium heat and add some olive oil. Add the chopped garlic and fry briefly until fragrant but not brown. Add the zucchini slices to the pan and spread them out evenly. Cook until lightly browned and soft, stirring occasionally. Season the fried zucchini slices with salt and pepper. Arrange the zucchini slices on a serving plate and sprinkle generously with freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Garnish with chopped parsley or basil and serve immediately. Tomato cucumber salad with feta and olives. Ingredients: 2 large tomatoes, diced, 1 cucumber, peeled and sliced, 1 red onion, cut into thin rings, 100 grams feta cheese, crumbled, a handful of black olives, pitted, fresh herbs, for example parsley or basil, chopped, olive oil, juice of half a lemon, salt and pepper to taste. Directions: place the tomato cubes, cucumber slices and onion rings in a large bowl. Sprinkle the feta cheese and olives over the vegetables. Add the chopped herbs. Drizzle some olive oil and fresh lemon juice over the salad. Season with salt and pepper and stir gently to combine all ingredients. Let the salad sit for about 10-15 minutes to allow the flavors to blend. Stir again before serving and arrange on plates. These two recipes are easy to make and use fresh garden vegetables that are light and delicious. Enjoy them as a side dish or as a light main dish. Acknowledgements. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to share gardening knowledge and inspiration with you through this book. A special thank you goes to all the garden enthusiasts who share their passion for gardening and pass on their experiences and tips. Thank you also to the entire garden team, whose expertise and commitment contributed to the success of this book. Without your support and cooperation, this project would not have been possible. A heartfelt thank you also goes to all the gardeners who experience, care for and respect nature every day. May your gardens bloom and thrive and bring you joy and fulfillment. Finally, I would like to thank my readers. I hope that this book provides you with useful information, practical tips and inspiration for your own garden. Rights and ownership notice. This audiobook is published and distributed by Testberichtdienststätte LLC. All copyrights, publishing rights, distribution rights, audio rights, and related intellectual property rights for this work have been lawfully and exclusively acquired by Testberichtdienststätte LLC. Testberichtdienststätte LLC is the sole and unrestricted rights holder of this audiobook, including the right to reproduce, distribute, publish, monetize, and publicly perform the content on digital platforms such as YouTube. The original manuscript files, source documents, and contractual acquisition records serve as proof of lawful ownership. The original author and or their authorized representative, Renovatio LLC, has transferred all relevant rights to Testberichtdienststätte LLC in accordance with applicable copyright and publishing law. This ownership applies to all current and future uses of this work, including audio, video, and digital publications. Effective date of rights ownership: the 1st of February 2026. Any unauthorized use, reproduction, re-upload, redistribution, or claiming of this content is strictly prohibited. Copyright Testberichtdienststätte LLC. All rights reserved.